you have any closing thoughts, Cynthia?
Yeah, or anyone have any closing thoughts or questions or reactions or
You're all certified placemakers now.
Yay.
All right. Did you were you gonna say something?
No,
I
thank
wanted
you,
to,
and it was.
but I wanted to thank you both for such a rich 2 days of deep diving into a place we think we know, but and I feel like we've learned a lot from each other about the place we live and all these different kind of layers, you know, whether you work on campus or whether you're a resident or whether, so thank you so much, Media and Cynthia. Yes.
And you have all everybody's emails.
Well, and that was one thing, is that going around?
It's at the tables.
And
if anybody didn't get a chance to sign, please make sure you add your name and email address and other contact information to that sign-up sheet.
I'd be curious though, in terms of next steps, which you have given us, just what as an organizing group, what we would, I mean, I know the video gets edited and all that, but just what we're up for, what do we, I just want to know what people think. I know we're really tired, and we've put aside all of the things we had to do for this, but I just, you know, just any shout outs about what we could do next or how we could.
Well, I know there are several people here who are students or representing students in some way, shape, or form, but I think all of us would like to see more students involved. Graduate students, undergraduate students, different organizations, fraternities and sororities, associated students, all those folks. So just, you know, definitely that's a commitment Student Life will make, is to connecting the message.
I'd just like to put a plug in that every Thursday evening from 5 to 7, a group that's interested in the community center and the surrounding areas to the community center meets to talk about the future of the community center and the area. So everybody's welcome to come.
Where do they meet?
Here.
Right here.
Right here.
And 5 to 6, 5 to 7.
5 to, and some people come 5 to 6, some people come 5 to 7.
And maybe not all of you know, we mention that the supervisors have funded $480,000 into the renovation of the church, and that we have selected here. So.
And we're looking at a major fundraising campaign to do additional things that are not funded by the amount of money we have. So.
I'd like to be able to have a follow-up meeting of this group, because a lot of times we do strategic planning and we come up with all this vibrant, wonderful ideas, and then a month goes by, 2 months go by, and you know, and then we come back together and it's like, what was that? You know, what did we say? And we might have some notes, but it's not as vivid in our minds as it normally is. And maybe start working on, I think that somebody said subgroups, you know, who wants to tackle doing a presentation to whoever regarding what the results were here. Who's going to take it? Who's going to take it forward? Is it going to be somebody from the community? Is it going to be a student? Who's going to take it to the arts department? How is this information going to come alive and not just sit as a document or you know, or a movie somewhere? So, but you know, something.
So that's the first topic of the next meeting. I think is like, and sometimes we do that implementation matrix about what the follow-up is, who's responsible, is it a short term, is it a medium term, is it a long term? Well, we just didn't, I mean, we're only here for 2 days, so we have to kind of find a place to kind of have you all kind of figure that out, I guess, amongst yourselves in terms of, we did list a lot of folks that should have been in the room, could have been in the room, we need to see what we've come up with, so they're certainly the next group to get this information, but, you know, but to assign liaisons to the museum, to IVRP, to the CSD, to county planning, the Chancellor's Coordinating Committee, we could sort of do we could actually do a follow-up email where people can sort of say, who they know and who they would be willing to talk to about this, to be that, I think this is like a hub and we need to liaise in multiple directions. So we will come back to you with a summary report and some key recommendations so that it's not gonna be super long, because we want you to be able to have talking points or some ways of kind of conveying exciting information, you know, in like 10 or 15 minutes to somebody. So I think that's the next thing, is who do you know, who are you connected to, and if you are the parent of a child at Ivy Elementary School, are you willing to go talk to the PTA? You know, just who in your network can you sort of, how can you use you to connect to your networks and to the other folks that you know, that you represent, or that you work with, or live nearby to communicate.
And also make like an identity somewhere. I don't know, make like a Facebook group or something and keep adding people and just sharing, I don't know, like some of the stuff that PBS is doing. There's so many great groups who are doing excellent things, and just sharing examples from other communities, because there's so much on social media. Just make a group and everybody feel free to like share the new articles that you read, or the new research that comes out, or the new lighter, quicker, cheaper improvement somebody's done, anything, just, and add us to it. We'll add some of the things that we shared with you, we'll post them there. But yeah, just keep it going.
I would say on Jay Freeman's behalf that, you know, his Facebook group website, Ideas of City, I think we will try to be not the only, focal point for social media for a lot of this not only information but conversation.
My suggestion would be to like have a Isla Vista planning group that meets every quarter. I mean, just even this year, this is our first quarter meeting. When do we meet again? In like April, June, or July, and just regularly meet and check in on these, where are we making progress? Because for now we don't have a formal structure. We can do it. We can just start meeting now, and then we can have a group online where we can announce meetings. And I don't know. I think once a quarter, that's not that hard to plan, and we can bring a lot new people in who could miss this one and maybe might miss the next one.
I also like the idea that you presented on the video, where I know that the Dia de los Niños is going to be coming up in May, and I like the idea on March 9th. Oh, it's sooner. March 9th? Wow. Where you had the pictures and the community came and put little dots on what they would like to see worked on, and other ideas. I like the little stickers. So I thought it was in May.
No, it's April 9th.
In April.
Yes.
So we have a little bit of time to kind of work on a poster board where community members, and actually Asatero Park has both the student population coming in through there and the community as well.
Yeah, to do one of those visual pop-up placemaking at that event in April,
And see what we got.
and see what we got.
Something that I've been thinking of starting for a while but haven't gotten started on, that I think could fit with this well, would be like a, I don't know, bi-weekly or monthly, like kind of art in the park, where it's like imagining kind of one of these areas and just having art supplies and kind of some of these maps, and inviting people that are just walking by to come and stop and think about this and like give their feedback, and maybe just kind of be creating and engaging with it. If other people are interested in that, I'd be happy to work with it.
Just a quick suggestion, just in your heads too, it seems like there's some liaisoning steps that could be made, so maybe we could, in our heads, just commit to one action item, whether it is, I'm connected to this group, or I am connected to this place. And so just knowing, maybe when we start the email thread, we could identify then some subgroups, but in the strategic planning world, it starts to become like sponsors or executive or champions for a place. And so just inside to be like, yep, this is what I'm connected to, because otherwise the ownership is too diffuse and we won't see anything happen. So I think that's part of the piece, is to commit yourself to something, or maybe even on that sign-in sheet before you leave, is just jot down, I'm going to talk to, these people, or I'm really stoked about this park, or connect that way. Would be my suggestion.
And someone's talking to Lou. Can't forget, you have to talk to Lou.
Lou Ventura.
Okay.
Put it in my note.
So this spring, for the first time in a long time, the Isla Vista Recreation and Park District will be having a visioning seminar meeting type thing with our staff, our board, and the community to sort of talk about the procedures for how we want to move forward. And since so many things here were had to do with the parks, anyone who could come, that would be awesome. We haven't set a date yet, but I'll make sure that the email list supplies that. It's going to be really neat because right now we've realized that we have so many people coming to our meetings with ideas, and while it's great for us to be reactionary, we also want to have sort of a visioning plan to see these ideas and see what can we do. So I'll definitely keep everyone in the loop about that.
We're just thinking about all of the things that everybody's already doing. There's so much work that is already happening, and so I know it's kind of exhausting to think about adding more to the plate. So, as always, I think one of the thoughts that people are raising is piggybacking on existing events that are already happening, and maybe just thinking about really a regular, like taking a moment in that, beyond even presenting, but just taking a moment to use those opportunities as working group meetings as well. Certainly for the Ivy Conference that's coming up, we're sending out the call for submissions, and really want to just open up the space for anything that needs to happen. So whether that's, this group giving a presentation or really just engaging in the strategy session. Maybe that's the next opportunity, since it's 3 months away as of today, 12 weeks exactly. Maybe that really is, one of the places where we don't have to recreate the wheel and expend a lot of energy, just piggyback on something that's already existing. So
I totally agree. And so I'm going to go back to the Ivy Community Center planning sessions that have been since summer. Every Thursday with at least 10 to 15 people steady. And while we did look at 4 of the top sites, this could be one area that we kind of dive into, and anybody that would be interested in just that's a Thursday at 5. That's something we do already. It's every week, so that momentum is kept. So I'm encouraging any of you who just find this whole process valuable. That's what we do every Thursday at 5. It isn't just about the programs at the community center. It's about kind of thinking about, well, what is a community, it's thinking about all of this. So, placemaking. Yeah.
And then your open lab on Fridays, is that?
That's open. Yeah. And that meets here also. This is our only space to meet. So.
Yeah, it's very fun.
And that's 12:30 to 3:30, and it is open, and it's had as many as 30 students. Deanna was was a facilitator. I mean, it isn't like I kind of sort of manage it, but it's not very well. But it's essentially also a clearinghouse. So if there are projects that people want to do, whether it's the utility boxes that the county asked us to beautify, or a student wants to do a calendar, community calendar, or you all have an idea that you wanted, that you're really like the bean bags in the park, or that you want to do, then coming to Ivy Open Lab brings you the artists that would maybe go and do it. We're actually doing a project for the Ivy Food Co-op, these hive-shaped tables, these hexagonal-shaped tables that can be rearranged into these kind of hive clusters for larger and smaller, and that's a group of 4 students actually going to design and fabricate those. So it's a great resource.
And it's actually for implementing stuff.
Yeah, we did First Fridays. We did
the jazz events.
The jazz series was a collaboration with Jeffrey Stewart and Black Studies. So it's the only, and you know what? It's a class. And one thing I've learned at the university is everything has to count. The units have to count. They don't have the luxury of time to be. That's why most of them were in my class. Okay, we're in that class on Friday. You didn't see a lot of other students. Paula gave a whole day on top of everything. So it's strategic in that for everybody, Friday, counts as a class. It counts as a unit. It counts for the community. It's really consolidating our time. It's because otherwise, right?
Well, and then also, some of the great things that were mentioned among the kinds of activities people want to see, like the programming, ongoing programming.
Yeah.
Things like, alternative programming for Halloween, for Beltopia.
Yeah.
Ivy First Friday. So many things that are already, groups are gathering and doing that work. Great things to plug people into. I would welcome you to give me also, or if you want to have me include you in the email distribution list. I send out about every 2 weeks. I get a little bit wonky sometimes because it gets hectic. But I send out a list of all the events happening that are public events in Isla Vista to engage more in community engagement. So I'm happy to add you to that list, just so you know about the things also that are going on in case you're not plugged into all those various events and opportunities.
I really recommend that one. It's a great email that you send out.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually Deltopia that we did the Isla Vista Resident Artist Exhibition that brought a lot of the artists like Sue with student artists into an exhibition here. I think what I'm most excited about is the mixed stakeholder representation here is unbelievable. Like, to have a conversation across all these sectors is pretty rich. So I keep thinking of like what's gonna keep that mix happening. So.
Well, you did a lot of great work, and you have a lot of work ahead of you. But you know, we're available. We might be coming back to Santa Maria, Guadalupe. Who knows? Become very popular. But just kind of, and if you can work through existing trusted institutions or meetings or programs where everyone feels comfortable sort of interacting, I would stay in touch. This is your community that you're creating. This is probably one of the most important things you could do actually in your life. I know you do a lot of important things. But you're off to a very, very good start, and you really have wrapped your head around a tremendous amount of information very quickly. So, and you're all highly educated and brilliant and adorable people. So thank you so much for your time. And,
Thank you.
give yourself